Who, after all, speaks today of the annihilation of the Armenians? This is what Adolf Hitler said in his 1939 speech after attacking Poland and putting thousands of Jews into concentration camps. He thought there would be no repercussions for his actions because there weren't any for the killing of the Armenians that happened just 24 years before. Well, he was wrong. He would come to be known as the most evil person to ever live on the face of the earth. But what about the killer of the Armenians? Do you know what he did? Do you even know his name? My name is Jacqueline Ahamian, and today I'm going to be talking about the Armenian Genocide. It's so important as human beings to recognize injustices and raise awareness about issues like this one. And I hope that this speech can extend past these 5 minutes. But that starts with you all. Listen intently so you can take what you've learned and go start having conversations with people about it. And by it, I mean about a people group who was brutally murdered, almost wiped from the face of the earth, and yet the perpetrators still continue to deny it. To start, I'm a first-generation Armenian, and I'm proud to say it. My mom moved to America from Armenia when she was 19 years old, and my dad, though born to 2 Armenian parents, lived in Turkey for most of his childhood. My Armenian background and culture is so integral to who I am as a person, and because it's so important to me, then in turn, the mass killings of my people hurt just as much as if they were my own brother or sister or cousin. So today I'm going to be talking about 3 things. What is the Armenian Genocide? Why did it happen? And how does it affect the world now? So first of all, Armenia is located on the border of Europe and Asia, and it's surrounded by Georgia, Turkey, Azerbaijan, and Iran. According to the BRNO studies, the Armenian Genocide itself was the mass execution and deportation of the 1.5 million Armenians out of the 2.5 million living in Turkey during April of 1915. This was 60% of the population living there, and just to help you imagine, that would be the Curb Center full to the max capacity 300 times. The Armenians were sent out of their homes to be slaughtered, and many were forced to march days on end throughout the desert. According to the Center of Holocaust and Genocidal Studies at the University of Minnesota, the Armenians who managed to survive were sent on foot to concentration camps, and Armenian women and girls were often sold into slavery. Many of them were abducted and taken as forced brides as Turkish and Kurdish militia. The Turkish government then and now is solely responsible for this, more notably the Minister of Interior Affairs of Turkey during the First World War, Talat Pasha, and the current president of Turkey, Erdogan. Now more than a century later, it still remains a contentious topic in Turkey, whose government denies that it has ever happened. So why did it happen? Armenia was the first country in the history of the world to adopt Christianity as its official religion. It has some of the oldest churches in the world, and many biblical events are said to have occurred in Armenia. For example, according to Genesis 8, Noah's Ark landed on Mount Ararat, which is in Armenia. And as you can see, Armenia has many close ties to its Christian beginnings and foundation, and as a result, a large motivation for the killings of the Armenians was due to religious persecution and discrimination. And as the Society for History of Education quotes, the Turks would nail hands and feet to pieces of wood, evidently in the imitation of the crucifixion, and while the sufferer writhed in his agony, they would cry out, "Now, let your Christ come and help you." So, how does it affect the world now? The aftermath of the genocide left the remaining population scattered, resulting in one of the greatest diasporas in the 20th century. This resulted in Armenians in the biggest cities in the US, and in Los Angeles alone, there are 200,000 Armenians. Many notable celebrities with Armenian backgrounds, such as the Kardashians and Cher, have spoken out about the genocide, and this has resulted in much pushback from the Turks. For example, a famous Turkish fashion designer said, "I will never dress Kim Kardashian. I will never make outfits for those who recognize the so-called genocide." Prominent Turks who have acknowledged genocide have received terror threats from their own government. Enes Kanter plays for the Boston Celtics and has talked about the Armenian genocide and its existence publicly, and now he's in fear of going back to his home country because he is viewed as a terrorist threat. So as you can see, this conflict between the Turks and Armenians is still very much prevalent today. So after talking about the Armenian Genocide, why it happened, how it affects the world now, and what Armenian Genocide, why it happened, how does it affect the world now, I hope you all can understand the passion I have towards raising awareness about this deeply personal issue. And it's so important to who I am as a person. And though the Armenian Genocide is forgotten by many, it will never, ever be forgotten by me. Thank you.